It depends on how you define that. It's a great question because I get asked that all the time. And kind of one of the first questions you asked me is what an appraisal? What is an appraisal? And the definition's an opinion of value. So it's my opinion of value, but there are other appraisers out there that are doing the same job that I am, looking at probably the same data set, but they might have a slightly different opinion of value. So, we should be all in the same ballpark. To say that we all have the same number would be just incorrect. There's not going to ever be that thing. So, you might have 100 appraisers that look at the same property, and most of us think it's worth 100, but a couple think it's worth 98, some think it's worth 102 or 103, and we're all in that same stretch. If you have one person that thinks it's 120 and one person thinking that it's 80, there's a problem there. But having said that, like that $2 million home I looked on Monday, I would bet that another appraiser that I would be hard stretched to see if they came up with the 2.4 that the owner thought, but still, they might have come up with 1.8, 1.9, which is a significant difference. I mean, we're talking $100,000, $200,000, but that is actually somewhat reasonable given the ambiguity of that property type. So we should all be in the same range, but to say that there is a specific number that all of us would hit, that would be just by a fluke. I mean, with rare exceptions, of course, but it would just not be common at all.
Right. So usually you're looking for a range that everybody's going to be within.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things that many appraisers and even agents, as far as that's concerned, have talked about, is that because evaluation is not a science, because it's not a specific formula, or you plug these numbers in and it just spits out here's the number. There is a range. Even when I write a report, I'll look at something and say, well, it's somewhere between 102 and 108. Does that make it 105? Well, why isn't it 102? Why isn't it 108 or 106 or 104? I have to pick a number, but isn't 102 and 108, isn't that, I shouldn't say a more accurate representation, that the one number is an accurate number, but gosh, it's so non-specific that it seems that it's more reasonable to give a tight range. I'm not saying your home's worth somewhere between 100 and 200. Good luck.
Yeah.
but still, I mean, it's because we can't come up with a number. It's not reasonable. I shouldn't say it's not reasonable. It's just knowing that you're not going to get the same number from every person, that a range is probably more reasonable. And you probably find that appraisers are going to have a similar range. That's actually where, if I were to guess, you'd find more conformity, is that we have the same range. I knew you're between 100 and 110, instead of everybody thought was 105 or 106 or whatever. So.
Right.